My next guest returns to action September 28th at Lights Out Championship 17. Happy to be joined by Konner Kuppe. How excited were you to get this fight? Obviously, Abe, an undefeated guy. This is a really big fight for Michigan.
Yeah, it's definitely a new challenge. There hasn't been like too many challenges around like the Michigan scene. Um, yeah, I think in Michigan the last like 3 or 4 years I've only had a couple fights, and like I sell a lot of tickets in my home area, so it's always great energy when I'm fighting in Michigan, and yeah, I'm looking to stand out and take this young kid's O. Every O's got to go. And I'm gonna be the one to take his O.
Seemed like you got a decent amount of notice for this fight. When did you find out? Did you get a full camp?
Yeah, it was about 7 weeks before, but I was training the whole entire time before that. Yeah, putting in a lot of hard rounds, still training 6 days a week. I've owned my own gym for over 10 years, so I'm consistently in here 6 days a week. I usually never have anyone cover any of my classes for me, um, and not just like teach and train my up and coming students, but also like going to war and training hard with my professionals I got here too.
Love it. Let's go all the way back. Again, we were sort of talking off air. I know your brother, Corey, I've interviewed him a handful of times. Cool getting a chance to talk to you. Where did this journey start for you? How did you get involved in combat sports?
Really, I've been in karate since I was 5, so I'm one of those lifelong martial artists. And then our style of karate is more rare than your typical karate. We were traveling around the country as high level point fighters, speed fighters. We did kickboxing. I was like the number one kickboxer as like a youth, a long, long time ago. So we've been doing that our whole life, and that's really where we translated. So we have the not many people make it to where we're at without having a wrestling background. But now we've been wrestling for about 16, 17 years as far as we've been in MMA. But if you go back to like 2008, 2009, there's not many people from that era that are still here. And I'm actually 33 in my prime, like ready to roll. So yeah, the fight game breaks a lot of people. But coming up through that karate background, um, you, just head on approach as a martial artist, fight to fight. Um, Really, in the beginning of our careers, we focused on our submission skills big time. So like we're one of the only two like high level guard players on like this region. Um, so yeah, it was, as far as the submission standpoint, people don't even want to be on top of us. But now this guy, he's a grappler, so that's what makes it exciting. He's gonna try to hold on and stall, but he has to stall because if he opens up, he's gonna get subbed up for sure.
I imagine you knew a little bit about Abe before taking this fight because obviously Michigan MMA, I know it's kind of like a tight knit community. Everyone sort of knows everyone.
Yeah, I know him, and I got respect for the kid. He's really young. He probably has a really bright future if he can keep his head on straight and stick with it. No doubt. But yeah, we never trained with each other or anything. Yeah, he stays on his side of town. I stay on my side of town, but we'll be beating in the cage in 2.5 weeks.
How do you feel like stylistically your style matches up against his?
Matches up great. So I got some amazing wrestlers I got here in camp. One of the most underrated parts of my game is actually my takedown defense. I'm so content in my guard sometimes. It shows on film that I don't mind being on my back because in a fight to the death, these guys aren't getting past guard. They're not punching me in the face. They're not really doing anything. And I have a lot of wins off my back and my guard, or even just going for like a quick 6 second gilly. It's like sometimes we finish the fight so many times that way. On paper, it seems like that would be the route trying to grapple me and control me on position. But I'm definitely the best striker in the world, and every fight starts standing on the feet. I've been actually trying to pursue karate combat, but even in my long 17 career, I've had one concussion my whole life against Brandon Noble, and that was a fluke that was on the ground. So when it comes to the striking, I have world class offense, defense, the hardest kicks in the division, and then actually, if yeah, just like under those karate combat style rules where you can't stall. Myself and my brother, we have the best style to be the best fighters in the world. So from a skill standpoint, he has to worry about everything, where I have to worry about maybe one thing. I have to work really hard and not get stalled out.
And that kind of ties in my next question as well, as far as pressure in this fight. I think for Abe, a win here gets him closer to maybe going to the UFC or going to Contender Series. For you, I know you're a veteran. You've been around the game. You've fought some of the best in the world. How much pressure do you think is on him in this fight compared to you, just because he's the guy that needs to get to the UFC?
Oh, he for sure has way more pressure. I got no pressure at all. It's just another day, another performance for me. Like everyone's next fight's always the biggest one. So don't get me wrong, this is a big fight for me. It's a must win for me too. Um, but yeah, on paper right now, I don't have a UFC pedigree. I'm not trying to get there right now because I fucked up my record. But now, with good Michigan judges, I'm 12. I'd be 12-5 as a professional, and really at lightweight. When I cut the weight to my natural weight class at 155, I'm 7-1 as a professional. So I'm very difficult to control and beat at my natural division. If I wasn't so hard headed and my own coach taking a lot of fights at higher weight classes, short notice, mostly that's just frustration of not getting matchups over the years. So really, as most MMA professionals know, the the win and loss on the paper doesn't matter as much when you're seasoned in the game. A lot of them are learning experiences. And in any of those losses, I've never got my ass whooped once in my whole life. These guys are literally just stalling, holding on for dear life, counting the time. And sometimes I'm just letting them. I'm underperforming a few times, but at the end of the day, I'm still the most dangerous striker in the game. I'm the most dangerous submission artist in the game. And this guy's about to have his hands full. So take the dog money, baby.
You mentioned camp a bit. Who have been some of your main training partners for this fight?
My brother is one of the top welterweight, middleweights in the region in the world. His striking's ridiculous, but his submission game's also ridiculous too. So I've been going to battle with him for so many years. And then my ace in the hole student, Tyler Grimsley. He's 9-0, should get signed with the UFC anytime. He is my number one wrestling training partner, and man, he can push that pace. If anyone's been following him, you know how he can wrestle and grapple and also strike. He's actually very complete. So we have very high, our training is very high level, and we're bringing a very high level MMA skill set into the cage with us in there.
Your corner, what will that look like? Who's going to be in the cage with you for the fight?
My brother Corey, of course. And then my coach Adelaide Cleveland, he's my jujitsu coach, 10th Planet Black Belt, owner of 10th Planet Livonia. He's a genius, making sure my submission game's always on point. And then my top training partner and student, Tyler Grimsley, he'll be there with me too.
How's this one playing out on September 28th? I know you feel like you're going to get your hand raised otherwise. Well, I signed the contract, but how do you see it unfolding?
It could be a number of ways. It's like when you have so many ways to finish, you got to just keep visualizing the many different ways that we can finish it. So however it happens, it happens. I'm not going to try to force one thing or another. But I think there's a really good chance I knock him out. um yeah, really good chance I knock him out, actually. Knock him out or break him in the deep waters, like my last 5 round fight. Actually, I'm rightfully the lights out champion. And right before the pandemic, when I had a prettier record at 7-2, I got robbed out of a 5 round decision. But I took the guy's soul in round 5 based on cardio while I had a huge staph infection on my leg. You won't ever see me pulling out from any of these just bullshit excuses that other people will. But yeah, I'm a cardio guy. And then the fight after that, I fought for lights out. I submitted the guy in round 3. So the later the fight goes, the stronger I get and the more I adapt to my opponent. So I'm either going to break him in the deep waters or I'm going to knock him out within the first 2 rounds.
Love it. Where does a win put you here? Obviously, he's undefeated. That's going to look great on the resume. I mentioned it there. You fought some of the best already. If you look at your record, where does this win sort of put you if you go out there, especially if you get a finish?
It gives me momentum for sure. It definitely gives me momentum. Hopefully, I can get some more matchups and stay more active in Michigan. But all it takes is one good year of being active. And my skills will show for itself. I just got to keep getting in there, keep cutting to my natural weight class at 155, and yeah, if I put a good win streak together, I can build the resume back up because in MMA it's a lot about resume, but really I've been looking at the karate combat as one of the main leagues that I would like, just because yeah, it's a lot of striking, grappling, not as much just stalling. So it's nonstop action for the fighters. But and also it's booming right now. Karate combat's actually been booming. Getting high ratings. And I came from karate, and I'm the number one karate fighter in the world, full contact. And then if you put me with all those other top karate guys, full contact with MMA wrestling, that just shoots me through the roof. I would starch all those guys. So hopefully I get an opportunity to at least do that once or twice. But I would take out their champion right now, no doubt.
Love it. What about downtime? What are some of your hobbies outside of fighting? We talked all about fighting, and obviously you got a lot going on. You're busy. You're teaching classes, like you said. What are some other things you enjoy doing? I don't know if you like watching any other sports or playing a video game guy or anything else. What else you got going on these days?
Yeah, definitely. The gym really does take a lot of time. Actually, me and my brother have the most youth karate and kickboxing world champions of all time.
Nice.
So we put a lot of extra work into just holding, helping for them, the gym, the adults too. We put a lot of time into our adults just to develop their skills. But yeah, outside of this, I would say lately fantasy football on Sundays. The
Okay.
Lions will drive me crazy. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of not so much lately, but sometimes poker. Just just get the mind off fighting, I guess, for a few minutes and stare into somebody's soul. It's a lot of psychology and math that goes into it, so that benefits me. But yeah, that the Lions, fantasy football. That's probably just my main hobbies right now. But I've always been a full-time fighter. So even when I'm outside the gym, I'm usually studying film, studying technique. It's for sure a committed lifestyle for me. So that's why I'm still gonna keep this ride going. Fuck the record. I'm just gonna keep taking heads.
It's Lights Out Championship 17 coming up here September 28th. Konnor, thanks so much for doing this. It was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I've been watching Spectation Sports for some years now. I just want to thank all my training partners that are helping me on the lead up here. And let's just keep pushing, keep working hard, and we'll get that win. And then yeah, I'll shout out one awesome sponsor I've had throughout the gym. The Slovati Insurance Company has helped sponsor my gym and my charity events here. That I've had like 5 charity smokers here at the gym, and it's helped building that next generation of talent. And any sponsors that help us out are helping the next generation of fighters. So we appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for having me. It's going to be a spectacular show, no matter what. It's always a spectacle when you got a cuppy in the main event. So um, it's gonna be a fun night.